world. That's right. Marvel duos, the best Marvel duos, at least from the MCU, and a little tech news from DJI. All this and a little more. Let's.
According to Wikipedia, a nerd is a person seen as overly intellectual, obsessive, introverted, or lacking social skills. Many so-called nerds are described as being shy, quirky, pedantic, and unattractive. We're here to prove Wikipedia right.
Oh, look who they let in.
This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. If it's fantasy, sci-fi, gaming, movies, interviews, we're talking about it. We're talking about it. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, and here's your host, Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike.
Welcome to Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. I am Moose. That is Magic Mike. There is no Game God whatsoever, by the way. Not tonight, at least. I don't know where. You know where he's at?
Yeah, he's saying he wasn't feeling well. I think he's just ditching. That's what I think he's doing. He ran out of PTO. He ran out of vacation time, and he's just ditching.
So now he's calling out sick. Yeah, that's likely. Yep. Well, it's okay, Magic Mike. It's just you and I tonight. We will not waste any time. Look, I just put co-host there under your name.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's special for you.
I do feel special.
All right, so Captain America. You want to dig right into it, or you want to start with?
Let's dig right into Captain America.
Okay. I don't know if we should save it. Just savor it a little bit. Let people wait on the. You didn't.
To be fair,
right? You didn't go.
I did not see it.
I did not see it.
Yeah, so I was going to say, to be fair, neither one of us saw it.
That's true.
However, based on what I've read, heard, some of our sources, I think we're accurate on why we didn't go see it.
Yeah, but I think we could be saving a couple of dollars.
Yeah, a few bucks here and there.
We didn't miss anything. Matter of fact, if this is a spoiler-free podcast. It really is. I will talk a little bit about some of the details, though, from the movie that may or may not be a spoiler for you whatsoever. It's not a spoiler for us, for sure, but it is. It's something that might, you might go, no, I want to be completely surprised by every little thing. Well, I got news for you. You look at the layout of the MCU and the movies that are coming and what they're planning for. We already know what they're planning for, and that's what I want to talk about tonight from the movie, just from a couple of things that happened inside the movie. So we can talk about that. But I know that the movie was released, Captain America Brave New World, has the Red Hulk in it. If you haven't seen, yes, that's right. And did it make money? How much money did it make? I don't remember what we guessed what it would be.
I think we were both, and I'm going to say around, because it may have been a little less, it may have been a little more. I think we were both around 80 when we guessed with Game God, which sounds about right, because we figured, and he talked about it. He thinks that's the new norm. That means it's good, but we both know that just means it's average.
Right.
And we guessed it would get that just because it's the first week, a lot of hype about it. We've seen commercials everywhere for it, trailers left and right. But I got to tell you, I think it's a lot of money spent just to introduce the Red Hulk. I'm just saying.
It's a lot. Right.
Yeah.
Because this is the big reveal, is that it's the Red Hulk. That's a Captain America movie revealing that there's a Red Hulk, but which we see in the trailer. So it's no surprise. Who's being introduced here. So
correct. Yep.
I kind of weird, but
yeah, because we got to see Captain America. We know what he's going to be. We know what he's going to do. And then all of a sudden, as trailers went on, we saw more and more of the Red Hulk, which is great.
Yes.
But it started to feel it was more about him. Now, again, when we see the movie, we'll probably have a little more to say about it.
Yeah.
But from what we understand, that's pretty much what it was, the introduction there. And we already talked about, and it was also, I guess, the introduction of adamantium into the MCU other than Wolverine.
Hmm.
So this is what I guess is where his stuff comes from. And again, as we said, I think it was the last one of the time before that, it doesn't make you a superhero because you're wearing superhero material.
Yeah. If that were the case, I'm a superhero already.
Correct.
Like I've been a superhero for years. I even smell like a superhero, by the way.
Well, I know Anthony Mackie in the past has said he didn't want for his Captain America to take the serum because it made him more like the regular guy, which I understand that statement. However, it's a comic book movie. We want that.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I like just Falcon. That's just who I like. I like regular Cap and regular Falcon. I think they're both, good teammates. Which we're going to talk about teammates, Marvel teammates here, just in the future. But all right. So I again, no spoiler here for Captain America. They introduced the Red Hulk. They probably set up what we think is to be the Civil War or Secret Wars from in the future for the MCU. It's going to be Secret Wars. If you don't know about the Secret Wars and you're a comic book fan, I got news for you. Where have you been? If you're a comic book fan and you do know about the Secret Wars and you know exactly what we're talking about, just kind of that setup, and you can see the movie projection of where they're going with Secret Wars. And before we talk about the numbers, this is I think this was a little bit confirmed inside the movie in the trailer. Not a trailer. In the there is a end credit scene. Well, again, no spoiler. You're not going to learn anything here that you don't already know. I just want to repeat that. Just stick tight with us and just listen. But in this post credit trailer, it does talk about allude to the Secret Wars. And I think that's just confirms about what it is that's coming, and I'll kind of tell you a little bit how it went. I got my little timeline here, but it's the Secret Wars event is, man, if you remember, I remember reading these comics and thinking, oh, this is some of the best stuff. But it does talk a little bit about it, about the events. They involve select Marvel heroes either being snatched out of their world or surviving multiversal incursion or being brought to a battle world, okay, in the Secret Wars. Secret Wars. So anyway, it talks a little bit about that in the post-credit scene on like a battle world. If you were put there, the heroes of the main Marvel universe have to not only, and I say this, with walking on eggshells, not only face off against traditional villains and foes, but they also have to face off against their own variants.
Yes,
this is key. So you might have a variant from another multiverse, and that you're battling that variant. And when I think of the future of Marvel, and going, okay, well, could Captain America Falcon face off against regular Cap, or could he face off against Winter Soldier Cap, or could he face off against who else was there as Captain America? I'd have to think for a moment there, but anyway, could you face off against those types of the same characters? And you really haven't thought about it, or you haven't revisited Secret Wars in many, many years because you were a fan of the comics, but now we're moving into that direction.
Well, and if to your point, Moose, we've actually seen in one that's memorable enough that where they fight not their variant, but they fight themselves. And that's the Captain America versus Captain America in Endgame.
Yes.
And so that we thought that was great. So to your point, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
See that on film.
Why the Red Hulk is, being introduced there too. Some people might think, oh, they were, for a Hulk series or a Hulk, movie, World War Hulk, kind of thing. But it's difficult to say, at least on that part. We know for sure though that Secret Wars is definitely coming. And in the post-credit scene, just so you know, again, no spoiler here, this is just kind of what it says, is exactly that. Sam goes into visit Dr. Samuel Stearns and at his cell, and he's talking about how he's gloating and basically saying how he defeated the Hulk. We knew that was going to happen. It's a Captain America movie. Come on. Anyway, and however, the Doctor, talks a little bit about he's only won a small battle. There's a much bigger war to come, and he teases about the probabilities have been shown to him that the multiverse exists and the war between heroes and different realities is approaching. And so then he asks a question of how Captain America's noble sentiments, I thought that was poignant, noble sentiments about defending the world would play when task requires him to battle other heroes who are also trying to save their worlds from extinction. Now, that is ultimately Secret Wars.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. It's exciting to see this. I know we've, when we saw in the Infinity series,
yes,
that was great because we remember the Gauntlet, the comics, all that stuff. It was great to see it on film and be able to see Secret Wars as an extension of that and to go even further. That's just an awesome thing.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: it has to be to coin one of your phrases. It has to be done right.
Yeah.
If it's not done right, you're going to leave a lot of people upset.
If they set it up really good, if they've set it up nicely, just like Infinity, the Infinity series itself, you can have another winner on your hands. But it has to be done right. You can't go cheap on this. You can't try to do it. It just has to be done right in order to be successful. Oh, I know what I was thinking of is Captain America, the variant of the Hydra Captain America.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That one.
Well, speaking to that piece of it, so the question is this, do we consider this an intro or a lead up to Secret Wars? If we do, did it do the job it was supposed to do? And if we don't, if it's just no, we're just going to bring this in. But if you're going to show, as we know through all the post trailer or post movie credits before, it all led to Infinity, the Infinity War.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna include that in there, if that's gonna be in there, then it has to be part of it. And so, did it do its job of getting you excited for Secret Wars? And I don't know that it did. I just don't know because, like I said, I haven't seen it. But from what I have seen, is based on the numbers and some other things, it may not have done that for a lot of people.
Yeah. I think it's really it's just all about one thing, and that is Hulk. That's what I think that this is about. So that's just my opinion.
Well, that was an issue when we saw Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. It was supposed to be about Doctor Strange, and it wasn't.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's about Scarlet Witch.
Yes.
Why not? Let's just give her own series. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. So you have some numbers here for Captain America. Do you know what it made over the weekend?
Yeah, well, so I believe what I have for the weekend, and I'm going to have a couple comparisons here, but what I see is opening weekend was 87 million, 87.8.
87.8 for the opening weekend. Really?
Yes.
Wow. I think you and I, we were about that range when we guessed, right?
We were around that range, and we knew it was going to be because of it's a Captain America movie. Right. And I think, and so the next question is, what's the drop off?
And you have Red
after. Yeah.
Right.
So the hype was there. So to give you a little bit of comparison, because you're going to say, well, how does that compare to, let's just say, other Marvel movies? So if you think about the opening weekend at let's just say 88, or 89, whatever you want to say.
Okay, fine.
So we know Avengers Endgame is the top dog, right?
Right.
And
hey, take your time.
My screen just switched on me. My apologies.
Sure.
I'm trying to hold these numbers in. But that was top dog. Well, so Captain America, this one rolls in about 24th ranked above all of them. Now it did okay as far as that number goes. But I will tell you this, because Avengers Endgame was what, 357 million.
Yeah.
Opening weekend.
Yeah.
Now we're saying 88's good. Come on. And I don't want to hear anything about the post-COVID, because this is Marvel. And if it's done right, then it's done right.
Yeah.
Period. People are going to go see it, because you have, we can talk about Black Panther being in there at number 3. Even Iron Man, 2. Iron Man 2 is at 128 million.
Yeah.
So we look at these things and we go, okay, well, let's do apples to apples then. Okay, let's do that. Let's just say, for instance, let's talk about all the Captain America movies.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Civil War, number 1, 180 million.
I would think so, because it's not the first introduction. It's later on in the series of Captain America films. So you get, and you have some other characters. It's not just Cap that you're introducing there. So
that's exactly right.
That's going to be the biggest one.
What did you think was the second one, Moose? So we got 4 of them, right? So which do you think was next?
I would go backwards. I would go, let's see. So I would put First Avenger as the least. So if I went Captain America Civil War, Winter Soldier would probably be the next. How many Captain America films have there been? Except
4, including Brave New World.
Okay, so yeah, so I would go Winter Soldier, and then I would go after that, or at least would be First Avenger.
Yeah, and you're absolutely correct. Okay. Yeah, as normal, you got it. I'm sure Game God is probably a little disappointed.
I'm sure he is, but I just look at the buildup. When you introduce Captain America, you don't know how it's going to be. You're like, you don't have that. You don't have that feels yet about Captain America. And then after the first film, you're like, oh, that's pretty good. And then, I think Winter Soldier to me is just a great movie. I love Winter Soldier.
Well, and to your point, Moose, if you think about it, the first one, that was 2011. I don't know if you realize how long ago that was. 2011, so over 10 years ago. Yeah. And it did 65 million. At that time, was really good for an MCU movie.
Sure, yeah.
In 2011.
Comic book movie. Why wouldn't it be good? 65 million?
Yes. A lot of things have changed since then. And then Winter Soldier is at 95. You would think, in the order of things, Brave New World would have had a better showing. Yeah. Especially since it's been a while that we feel like there's been a decent Marvel movie out there. Well, and then you get into the tomato meter.
Okay.
You have any guesses for that?
I of course. All you have to do is say, what guess do you have, Moose, for the tomato meter? And if we're going to go the tomato meter score versus audience score, I'm going to give you both. I don't know if you have both pulled up, but I'm going to say the tomato meter score is an 82. And I'm going to say the audience score is a 59. That's my
wow.
opinion.
This is very interesting, just so you know. You are very, very close. However, it's reversed.
Really?
The tomato meter is a 49.
Wow.
49 on the tomato meter. And the
audience score.
Audience, thank you. Because they call it popcorn meter now. Yeah. So you said audience, but it's the same thing. Is an 80.
Wow.
Now, granted, it's early on. We're going to see a lot more come through.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reviews I've seen, like we've said, it's basically just it's a Hulk movie. The introduction is, and they really miss out on the Captain America piece and letting him be Captain America.
That's interesting. Okay, well, that's interesting. I'm excited to see the final numbers come out for that.
Yeah, because this right here is a lead up to the next movies.
Right.
Is it going to be enough to push those through? I don't know.
That's a good question. Now we're talking about Captain America, and I wouldn't say that the duo here. I mean, I would think that Winter Soldier is a duo in this movie with Captain America, with Sam as Captain America. What do you think some of the best duos are from the MCU that we've seen so far?
Wow.
I'll give you. Now, you don't have to think of them all. I'm going to tell you what they are, and then you can tell me how you kind of would rank them, like 1, 2, 3. I'm going to give you more than 3.
Okay.
But you tell me how you would rank them, all right? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with something like an easy one. How about Iron Man and Spider-Man from the MCU as a duo? All right. Now, we saw them in the relationship and how they worked, together with I don't know, different people. Homecoming it would be one example.
Sure.
Infinity War, just as a duo, they were
Civil War when they first introduced.
Yeah, they were paired off in that aspect. Falcon and Winter Soldier, just like we just talked about. So not only in Captain America: Brave New World, but if you take them and put them in the other pieces of Infinity Gauntlet series, you saw where they were paired up as well. That's just what happens. All right. How about Black Widow and her sister Yelena? That's another pair.
Sure. Yeah.
How well would you rank them? Do they break the they're your top three.
Okay.
All right. How about Rocket and Groot as a duo? I mean,
which version?
well, that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I think the first version, but I'm just the introduction. I think is the
Agreed.
Ant-Man and the Wasp, another MCU duo.
That's a good one.
Yeah, you can't beat that because even in the Infinity Gauntlet series, as the end as it tailed off, you still saw them come out together.
That's right.
All right, ones you haven't thought of already. How about Thor and Loki as a duo?
Listen, I've thought about that one already, just so you know, because that's not one that you may not consider that a duo.
As a duo, right?
That's right.
But they are.
Yes.
They have been in a set apart of their movies. All right, and then finally, I'll give you Wolverine and Deadpool as a duo. All right, so if you had to rank 1, 2, and 3 out of any of those, which ones would you put 1, 2, and 3? MCU
so
best Marvel duos.
Listen, I would, out of all of those,
number one is easy though. I think, right?
For me, it's easy.
Okay. Well, tell me.
And I'm going to say it because I mean, it probably is for you. If we're on the same page, I don't know, but because it's more recent.
Okay.
For me, it's got to be Deadpool and Wolverine.
It's got to be, right? It's just got to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't get that until recent.
That's right. I don't disagree with you at all. That's right.
Yeah. This is probably going to be a little strange, but we talked. You had just mentioned it, and I think I would put number 2 with Rocket and Groot, especially the first version.
The first version, right?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, as a duo, that was pretty good. They had the comedy. They worked together. They did everything together. It was just really good. Absolutely.
Okay. All right.
And then based on those, my number 3 would be Loki and Thor.
Interesting. You and I saw a lot of things there the same. I think that we both see as number 1 is Wolverine and Deadpool. We both see that. Number 2, you pick Rocket and Groot. I actually pick Thor and Loki.
Okay.
As a number 2, as a great duo.
Yep.
But I could see your point easily with Rocket and Groot. I mean, because when you think of Groot, you automatically picture Rocket Raccoon right on the shoulder. Like
that's exactly right.
That's what you picture, and so that tells you, well, that's a duo, right away. It's hard for me if I had to pick another one, I would say Captain America and Bucky, and then that might be the number 2 spot if you ask me.
Well, you didn't include that in the conversation.
I know, but we didn't get that in the MCU as much as we would like to have.
Agreed.
Even Captain America and Winter Soldier, we didn't get as much as we would like because Winter Soldier was broken off with Falcon.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying. But if it were hardcore comic book duo, Captain America and Bucky would be probably.
It's right up there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what's your number 3 out of these?
Well, that's what I said. I said I think our just 2 and 3 are flip flop there.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
So I think that, 3 is for you Thor and Loki. For me, it would be Rocket and Groot. So.
And I could see it. I could see it the other way too. I just think that those are really great offsetting. And then what's funny is that most of these 3, they're offsetting characters especially for Deadpool, Wolverine, and Thor and Loki. Rocket and Groot. Not as their personalities offset, but the same goal.
Yeah,
they have the same purpose.
Isn't that interesting though? I mean, they are dynamic opposites for the duo.
Yeah,
and that's what makes it a good duo. You think about Black Widow and her sister. It's like it's kind of the same. It's not really
agreed. The same. It seems like the same person. The same.
Yeah.
Even with, I know some people might immediately go to Iron Man. Understand why you would immediately go to that, but in the MCU it doesn't play out like that.
Yeah, I agree. I just think that's a fun way. And I mean, what I did not mention, and we can't really talk about an MCU piece, but if you had to pick any of the other characters from a comic book or any other movie series, is there another duo that you think about, and whether that's Batman and Robin, like that's a duo from a DC, and you go, there's probably none better than in DC, Batman and Robin.
You're probably right. You can't say Justice League because that's not a duo.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I gotta tell you, one of my favorite I would love to see on film, but again, it have to be done right. You have to use the right Spider-Man, and that's Spider-Man and Wolverine. And when you had them together, because they were together in the comics, if you can have them together.
See, I don't think that the Spider-Man we currently have, and even the Wolverine we currently have, like that would be a good duo. I don't see that.
I agree.
I don't know why. I just don't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I just, like I said, for another piece outside of MCU, I would love to see.
I completely agree with you. But I just think of like Cloak and Dagger. Like we don't see them in the MCU really, but that's a great there's a great duo. Cloak and Dagger, two opposite spectrums again, make a great duo.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so
Punisher and Daredevil.
Punisher and Daredevil, yeah, exactly. I mean, so you look at that and going, oh yeah, I like that. Anyway, I'd like to hear about maybe some of the best duos that the audience thinks here, and the podcast thinks, who makes a great duo. Maybe I should make that part of our contest. Give away something like that. Yeah,
that's a good one.
So all right. Well, last thing. Magic Mike, last thing, DJI. I'm a big fan of DJI products. And DJI is a company.
You are indeed.
Yeah, who makes they make a lot of tech stuff. They have a lot of handheld, cameras and gimbals and drones and things like that for everyday users, for pros. You can go check out their stuff, DJI.com. I probably have from a drone perspective, I don't know, 6 or 7, maybe 8 drones from DJI. From a handheld perspective, for whether it's be microphones or cameras, I have more than that. And they released something today. They released a new product, and the new product they have is it's called a Osmo Mobile, but this is the 7th iteration of it, and it just came out today. They just officially announced it, and it's the Osmo Mobile 7 series, and they have a regular 7, and they have a Pro model.
Oh, okay.
And so this one, it's a 3-axis gimbal that will change. So you put your phone on it, you hold it. It's a handheld, and so it kind of does the recording for you in a smooth, natural way. You can. I wouldn't say you could run with it. I could say you'd walk with it and you'd be fine. But they had some new features where it has a light on it, so you're not using your phone's light. And it also has a camera on it where it actually can do the tracking and kind of face tracking, things like that. Which, from the video that I saw that they showed in their announcement, looks pretty good. It's a little bit, it's compact. It's okay.
Yeah.
But it's a great little device. I probably have 3 of the other previous 7 models. I have 3 of those, and this one appears to be the best one yet. There's no question.
Well, that's important, because I know that which one, there were 2 of them. It almost took like a step back when they introduced. I think it was 3 and 4, maybe.
Yeah,
and then 5 got better. So this looks really good, to your point. And I'm always about, because I have, you probably do too, but the difference being I probably use mine is if it's the only one I have, because it is the only one I have, and that's the original. I have the original, first one that I use.
Right.
But it's cumbersome. It's a lot bigger.
Yes.
And this is nice. They've gotten smaller, obviously. Yeah. And maybe one day it'll just be, you'll just strap it to your finger and you'll be able to hold everything on it. But this looks really, really good. The size of it, carrying it, and that's important.
Yeah. Absolutely, because you want to use it. You're using it on your phone, and it's got some other attachments to it that you can actually charge your phone from it. I think it has a 10-hour battery life when you charge it up, so you can charge your phone through from its cable to your phone. So that's kind of important, because like I said, you're using your phone for the recording device of it, and so this gimbal, it needs all the battery power it can get to make sure it stays a smooth, steady video. So that's pretty nice. And as I watch what they've done with it so far, looks pretty good. It comes with its own stand, if you need to put it on a 3-leg stand to have it track you as you're doing stuff. I think good for like, family shoots or doing some video, some vlogging from a personal standpoint. And, you can go live. Obviously, it's your phone. So if you wanted to go live on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, you could do that right away. But you still have that gimbal to make it smooth and appear to be cinematic, so to speak. I don't think it's, I mean, I just the smoothness of it for the cinematic piece.
So have you already ordered yours?
I have not. I've not yet, because it just came out today, and I was busy earlier, so I wasn't able to see all the wonderful things that when I would receive it. Because in 2 days, Magic Mike, they're also releasing another product which we don't know about yet. We don't know what it's going to be, but that's on the today is recording is on the 18th February, and the 20th of February they're going to release another product, which I'm excited to see about. So I'm kind of waiting to see what that product is. If it is anything like a mirrorless camera, then I'm going to be ordering that. Although DJI has some very quality stuff, so when you hold it, you'll know that it's quality right away.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. So because we know that, and that's why the Osmo is so important, because we know that cameras now, some of your best cameras are on your phone.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have to compete with that. So if that's, because I know that's what you're hoping for, if that's what they do, it's got to compete with that. Otherwise, you just carry the Osmo around your phone.
That's right.
And the good thing about, and I'm sure this would all probably come together, but as an example, just the DJI mics, all that it all plays together. You can use it all as one setup, and that's what makes it so good.
Absolutely. And by the way, this does have a telescoping a rod on it, so you could, if you wanted to hold it up to get a better shot, a bit wider angle, or whatever, it's you can also do that.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to pick it up. Just a matter of when. I think I'll wait till the 20th, after the 20th, to see what their new product will be, and then I'll have a better idea of when I'll get it. So because I do like the idea of having the best product available for that type, and it's a handheld, like I said, so it's easy. But they also have this quick release mount piece that they've had for a number of years with the magnetic piece. But now when we have the MagTech, they have this piece that fits right back on the back of the MagTech that'll lock it in quickly. So that's kind of cool. But with that, I don't think you get the extra light or the extra tracking piece. So,
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, one of the coolest sounds ever is magnets connecting together.
I know, right?
I'm just saying.
Hey, check this out, Magic Man. This is interesting. So the Osmo Mobile 7 itself, without the extra light, without the tracking piece, the Mobile 7, believe it or not, would you like to guess how much it cost?
Well, so here's the thing. I know how much the other one is because you had told me.
Okay, but how much is this one?
I'm going to guess, let's see. Let's say 110. 109.99.
$89 for just
oh my goodness. That's ridiculous.
It's a brand new. Now, I'm just saying the Mobile 7 Pro with a 7P is $149.
I got to tell you, $90 for this technology is really, really good because, and DJI is top of the line, right?
Yeah, top of the line. Yeah, they're at the top of the class for these types of things. Very, very good.
Yeah, for their technology, for their field, I would compare them to Apple in their field.
Exactly.
And you're not getting anything from Apple for $89.99. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, you can, Magic Mike. You can. You get 1 terabyte of memory on your.
Okay.
That's what you get for $89.
That's a great price.
It is pretty pricey. So I'm looking forward to the 20th. I'm waiting for that. I will order this Osmo Mobile 7 Pro. It's just a matter of when. Which one do I get first? That is the question. Listen, Game God, I hope he's having fun playing sick and having fun without the podcast. But Magic Mike, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And then we'll see you folks next week with everybody here. I'm hoping.
I was just leaving. Da-da-da-da.
Nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert, nerd alert.
You've been listening to Podcast for Sci-Fi with Moose, Game God, and Magic Mike. Nerds have more fun. If it's anything sci-fi, we're talking about it. We had fun, and we hope you did too. We have to split, but we'll be back soon. In the meantime, hit us up at podcast4sci-fi.com. This is Podcast for Sci-Fi, where all things sci-fi come to life. Come to life.